I might actually need help with this, but pretty easy to take this apart. That's the ground wire. So there's four of these rubber cover things. There's 4 bolts there. You got the 3 bolts there, and there's 3 bolts up top that go into here. I just took off that guy to get it out of the way. I'll probably take off the fan, but there was a lot of corrosion on a bunch of them. I mean, I don't want to say a lot, but there was a noticeable amount of corrosion on the bolts even. You can see the white shit. Some of these, can't remember. Some of them have, but when you look here, when you pull it through, you can see the white crap. So something's wrong here for sure. This is like looking fried. Something leaking out of there. You can see all the dirt and the corrosion. I don't know what the hell that's screwed into, or if I got to take it out. I gather I do, because it seems like these plastic things connected here. I got to take off the other side. I'm probably just going to take off the side here just to familiarize myself with it. But even when I look at this, the back end, this is the back end here. You see how this one is discolored compared to, you know, like this one's discolored. Some of them aren't. I bought 20 used batteries, and the guy doesn't even guarantee them on eBay. I just wanted to start fresh with 20 batteries, and I can always go into checking these out. I'm really hoping those are good. I gather they are. I don't think the guy's gonna screw anybody as far as that. He said they weren't passing his, you know, his sniff test. That guy looks different. That guy looks different. That guy looks different. So maybe some of these were changed. You know, you can see how then this one here also looks like it's changed, or maybe it's not changed. Maybe all of these other ones were changed. Maybe this is the new style with this and this. Yeah, that actually looks kind of new. Although this one is, no, maybe that's the old one. That's, I don't know. They're all like kind of different looking, unless they're inverted, and that's why they have different ends, and that's why like it goes in and out. So I don't know yet. I haven't taken off the other side, but I'm gonna get there. This is gonna be pretty interesting because I don't normally do this stuff, and man, this is heavy. That was heavy getting out of the car too. I'm just a little concerned about these wires here. I gather the whole thing could come out with them on. You know, but I have a feeling I might need to, who knows if I need to buy something else. So basically this thing keeps going. It went down to 0 if you don't have the grid charger in, and then other times battery takes off on its own. Like when you hit the gas, or when you start the engine, it doesn't start with the regular starter. It starts with the IMA motor, but there's something not right, and then the IMA light battery came on with a couple of codes, the common codes like 1449 I think, and the other one had a 9 in it, so 1494 I think, or something like that, you know. But like I said, I'm just starting with 20 used batteries that are in supposed good shape or good enough for now, and that way I can go in the future and test these and see what the deal is. I had an opportunity to buy a whole battery, but it was original, low mileage, but really just didn't have $850 to spend, and that's basically it. So this is what I'm going to go through right now, and hopefully, yeah, it looks like the back end of one is different than the front end of another. I don't particularly think this was taken apart. There was a bolt that was stripped anyway, like on the back panel inside the car there. That bolt right there, and it was a pain. I finally got it out because it's screwed into aluminum, so I kept fucking unscrewing it and pulling it until it came out. So I think it's okay. I unloosened the box here because they put this grid charger thing underneath it, because I guess they fed the wires through that way because it does fit, but I'm probably going to drill a hole and put a rubber grommet so it can be removed if it had to be serviced again. But so far so good. I guess I'll find out more as I go. Okay, so I took off all the little screws on the other side. More of the same. I use this guy, very easy. I heard you should break them with a regular screwdriver first. I started doing that on that side, and I was like, you know, they're coming right out. This looks very clean. So this side is not really as bad, although there's, I don't know if it's just dust in here or if it is something with the batteries is usually they have that, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, the powdery shit. But looks like I don't know if that's water damage or just from the battery being so corroded. I'm gonna take all these guys out because apparently these are holding in the batteries. Still debating whether or not I should take out the fans. I might. And let's see. Making all my little piles here. So, so the individual batteries come out, apparently. I watched a video on a newer one and it had like two kind of like held together. So apparently I didn't have to take out those top screws. Although I kind of don't like that. Very interesting. So that's it. They all just pull right out. Very, very interesting. So, trying to think, how do I do this now? As far as there's no, what is it, 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 7, 7, and 6. I guess you gotta push. Well, you know, I guess I'm gonna keep going at this, and I'll have a better look, especially these other ugly-looking ones. But this didn't appear to be so bad. I thought all this stuff had to be taken off because the guy, in another video, guy shows like these clamps that are holding them together, and they smack it and it pops off and blah blah blah. So apparently this exposes the top. I guess it comes off. I don't really know. I don't know if this feels like a separate piece because it doesn't look like it here, although it may be separate. No, that's odd. So I'm probably going to put those screws back in if all these come out like this, because this actually seems easier than some of the other ones, because there was the green cell and the yellow cell, and they were together in these things that you push together, and they say it doesn't come with it when you buy another thing, so you got to put them back on, you got to put them back over these bumps here. So it's actually very interesting, you know, that this comes like pretty much right out. So I'm going to try to take them out, you know, in order, and line them up in such a way that I can't mess them up. It shouldn't matter though, but I guess it does matter because some of these definitely look different. And let me just, for argument's sake, let me just show you. This guy is more protruding than this. It may just be this, the way it's just wrapped, but okay, yeah, this side is, it's looking like, you know, because obviously one of them has to be negative and one of them has to be positive. So, and the guy was actually pretty good about this, because he put, this is obviously the new part number for new batteries. This is where they get them from. They probably get them from Alibaba. Found this out afterwards, of course. And they show positive in here, so you can't mess it up. And I hope they put it back in the same place. I'm sure it's something I could figure out also. But supposedly these are the batteries. I saw writing on, yeah, it looks like he has writing on some of them. 5.34, 4.9, I don't know what that means exactly, but apparently there's a point where these are not serviceable after a certain voltage, so these are serviceable, but they don't go to his expertise, you know. I have a feeling he puts all brand new ones in, and then he sells these for whatever he can, and that's basically it. I guess I would like to know how to test that. I don't like that it's brown. It could be that it's just a little overheated. It may be bad, I'm not sure, but that's something to think about. So, all right, I'll get all these out and I'll try to make another video. Okay, so basically what I run into is that there's these sensors on here, like a temp sensor and whatnot. I'm not sure which is what, but I know the yellow one was down there. The blue wire was there, the green one was the first one, and this white one's in the middle. So I think the best thing to do is actually just mark everything 1 through 20, and that'll make more sense of it all in the end. So you just know, at least for the configuration standpoint. So I started putting it in this box, and you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this yellow one is 7. And then over here, 8. Ugh. Can't do this holding the phone. 9. 10. Oh no, that's not 10. 10, 11, and so on and so forth. I think it's always best to just to mark them at this point. So if this is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 would be this blue one. And then this is 15 and 16. It's hard to write on cylinders, holding only one hand. Yeah, so basically that's the way I'm going to go with this. So I know, like I said, it's more so of the configuration. One of these sides are positive, one of the sides are negative. I'll figure that all out and I'll double check it to be sure. But I just wanted to add this to the video because I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna have to peel away this stuff and maybe get more heat shrink tubing. So I thought this was going to go together today. And you know, I suppose if I individually check these to see if they're bad or not, that's an option, but I don't trust any of these batteries. So I'm not quite sure what's the deal with these and what I have to go through. I don't know if I have to solder these. I don't know if it's something that I can just wrap black tape on it from, you know, now and just do it that way. I don't see why not, but we'll see, you know. I might even have some kind of big heat shrink tubing, but probably not. That's my feeling. I can always buy it too. That's the other thing. So that's where I'm up against. All right. All right. I tested every one of these batteries for initial voltage, and they all had 8, 8.1, or 8.2, which does not seem like a big deviation. And I tested one of the new ones, and it had 8 as well. I'm putting this bulb on. I have both circuits lit up. And it's gonna, I figure, I don't know if this is brighter. I guess they're using a 12-volt drop light bulb, which I didn't have, so I just rigged this up. And I don't know if it's really enough draw for the test, but I guess if I come across a bad cell, then, you know, that'll happen. But right now I'm getting close to 3 minutes. I figure that'll take care of it, but it's only like not even a half a volt drop. So that tells me this thing is probably good. In fact, somehow I'm thinking all these batteries are good, and my problem is whatever's reading on the dashboard is not reading the full voltage. So there's some issue where it eventually kicks into the IMA battery light going on. So I'm gonna keep going at this and see what I come up with. So the second one here, I'm gonna test all these with the sensors first. Another 3 minutes. It only dropped so far. I mean, initially went down to like 770, so it dropped a quarter of a volt when I hooked this up. But it's not really dropping a lot, so it's making me feel like it's good. Because even if this battery is not the drain that you want, you got to figure if the cell is bad, it's still going to drop. You know, it's finally getting down. I mean, I'm going on almost 4 minutes now. This is seemingly pretty good. I really wonder, like I said, if all my batteries are good, and it's just a matter of there's something not communicating, whether it's the other piece that's in the car or what. But not quite happy that I've spent $350 on all these batteries, and then some, and it's not really the issue, you know. Yeah, it's going down, but nothing crazy, nothing so fast. It takes a lot. On to the next battery. Alright, next battery. I just started it. It was at 780 something, and now, like I said, it drops like a quarter of a volt right off the bat, and it does steadily go down. But so far so good. It's really not seemingly like much, but I'll make another video at the end of this 3-minute span. Alright, so I did the other one, and I'm doing this one. I got another minute left for my 3-minute test. Like I said, the other guys do it 2 minutes with a full light bulb, but this is DC volts. This is not AC volts. That was the other thing that was always weird about it. I'm like, is this AC volts? It's weird. It's different principles, electrical principles, you know. But like this one had some rust on it. I'm like, I guess this will be one of the ones I test. But the other thing is, I think they call them PTC strips or just whatever. These strips here, if they're obviously not conducting electricity, that's a problem. You know, if they transfer the the power. So I'm going to use an ohms meter and see if there's any resistance in them. But even this one, they all seem to be good. I'm wondering if I just got a whole bunch of sticks now I don't need, and it's really something else. That would be pretty crazy if it was a matter of like these strips. But I guess I'll test them next, and I'll test this guy here. This is like, it's just rust. It's not even a big deal. But other than that, what else? This one. That one has rust. I think this one also has rust. No. What was the deal with this one? Why'd I pick this one before? So, I'm going to test this one next and see what the deal is, and then I'll start doing ohms resistance on these things. Obviously, I'm just pinning the meter, and I don't know what even to test for. I'm not big on this stuff, so like, I'll put the meter all with the lowest setting and the highest setting, check them both ways, and see what happens. It should pin out if it's just a straight connection, so it shouldn't be like a wavering amount in the middle. So now this one dropped down to 7.5, but I'm like, I gotta be on. What time is it? I'm on 4.5 minutes right now. All right, so I'm getting done. I just tested all of them. Hang on. All right. So basically what I've been getting, and when I put it all the way at this, I don't know if it's the lowest setting or highest setting. I really don't know shit about ohms, but I'm basically getting all -0. So I went all the way to the other extreme. I just moved the decimal point, but it's basically been 1.1 or 1.2 right there. I mean, they seem like they're all working. This is the next to the last one. And 1.1. So mostly 1.1 and 1.2s. That's it. That just wavered to 1. But I mean, other than that, I mean, you're not talking about a lot of difference here. They're all basically the same. Now, I didn't test all the voltages with this yet. I'm going to test this guy right here for the drop as well. And this is one of the ones from, the one I just said. So now I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'll put on 20 volts. That's on. Basically the same thing. This is very interesting. An interesting waste of time. Oh boy. I wish I sure knew more about this shit. I'm gonna have to go to the, I gotta join the group, the Insight group, and then start asking questions. It's like everybody wants you to search the forum, but I don't really know what I'm looking for, so it's like, everybody has their rules there and everything, so it's like, I'm trying to put together a decent video that somebody else doesn't go through what I went through, and obviously this could have all been tested. What I'm doing here is totally testable in the unit. I think technically with even the back part on, you could have just tested this thing with this, because I think it just jumps it, for the most part. So, yeah, basically that's it. It just jumps it to the next guy to make the series so the voltage goes up. But it's funny how the IMA was starting the engine, no starter involved. In fact, when I unplugged everything, I couldn't even get the real starter to engage, and I actually had to jump the starter just to make sure it wasn't bad. I was like, well, what's going on here? Because I tried to crank it when I had the switch off, and it wouldn't work. But other than that, I'm a little baffled. And like I said, I still don't know if this bulb is really enough or what. But so far, like, I'm doing this video now, it's been 2 minutes. And I just pretty much hooked it up. I'm not seeing the stark drop off, to be honest. And these are 12-volt bulbs, so you figure they're going to use every drop of the 8-volt, you know. I mean, this is AC. It ain't no AC volts. It's got to be, you know. Yeah, 21, there you go. So, I don't know. So now we're getting on 3 minutes on here, and you gotta figure it would, if the battery's bad, it would definitely drain something. So I think I'm in a little deeper shit here, and I just bought a bunch of batteries that I don't need, perhaps. And it was working the first day that I drove it, and then in fact it was even shutting the engine off, where you're at a light, shut the engine off. It took a while before it actually started doing that, and then when I hit the gas one time, I could feel that it was only using the motor, and then the IMA light came on, or it came on simultaneously. Then I couldn't get it off, and then I finally ready to pull the number 16 fuse under the hood, and then it resets, but I haven't test driven it since, because I just assumed there's something wrong with this, because the guy, like, he had to always leave the grid charger on for it to work, and I didn't have the grid charger plugged in at all, and then the dashboard said it was empty. But now that I'm testing all these separately, it's, you know, it's funny because the grid charger, it's just like the homemade thing, and it's some company, and he said he called the company, and they said, oh, yeah, that's not ours, somebody built this, you know, because this silicone crap, whatever. But ultimately, somebody had extended the gauge here so I could be read, okay? And it always said 350 milliamps, and it was right around 160, 170 volts. Today I plug it in. Oh, look at this. I was like, oh, gee, it's showing no voltage. I was like, how does it go down to 0? I just answered my issue there. Well, in any case, the IMA light still went on, and there's some issue there. This has been going on now for almost 5 minutes now, and it's only dropped a half a volt. I can't see this being bad, you know, and I don't know what else it could be, something there or what, but it's not even registering. It finally, when I cleared it, it finally started reading some of the assist and some of the charge, but it didn't show the battery level. And at times where it did show the battery level, it showed 1 bar all the way at the bottom. So I was like, I just think something's wrong here, you know, and ultimately it's usually these battery sticks, you know, but it seems like I might have a whole different set of issues here, you know. I don't even know where to look right now, so I'm going to keep going with this, though. Okay, a lot of the same, you know, but now I've decided to do something a little bit different, only just to get a different perspective here, okay? So I'm going to use this next guy, and it goes like this. And just for shits and giggles, instead of using this bulb, I'm going to take it off, and obviously I got to find a way to hook up the meter at the same time, which shouldn't be an issue because there's holes here. This is an old style sealed headlight beam, and it's, what do you call it? It's a non-halogen, so it's not as, you know, bright, I guess you want to call it that, and technically they should light up, right? Okay, so it's the bottom, so that's a low beam. Should I just go for the high beam? Let's make sure I got my high beams and low beams right. Well, that's the low beam. That's the high beam. And guy can go in there. And this guy can go in there. So, ooh, that was nice. Fucking crossed them. That's stupid. Anyway, so that dropped it kind of significantly. I saw it go to 760 right away, but I crossed it. That was nice. We're reading this, yeah. Definitely drop more with a bigger light. And I guess I should pay attention. Holding at 726. I guess it's been on for a good minute now. Didn't really look at the time. But I mean, what's the equal of the light bulb that they're using? I mean, I don't think they're using house current light bulb. I mean, they make it just sound, like other guys are doing these videos. They're not very clear because I'm not really sure how it works. And so it's definitely seems like DC voltage each one of these things. So I probably don't have the best connection, and it's probably best I set this up a little bit better. But they're talking about, it shouldn't drop more than 2 volts in, I guess, 2 minutes. And now we're definitely coming up on 2 minutes here. Yeah. Come on. This doesn't help my test. Yeah, let me put down the phone for a second. Crossed it again. It would have been better if I just crimped some connectors or something instead. But, being that I crossed it twice already, I mean, I'm not saying that, I can't say that's bad. I mean, it can't possibly be a halogen that, the amount of draw that they're talking about. So I don't know what these other guys got, but this doesn't seem so bad. So, I mean, I guess the next test is the next one I do is see how much it drops, I mean, we're getting on close to 3 minutes now. Yeah, because this video is 5 minutes, and I started after. I mean, this is past as far as I'm concerned. All right, on to the next one. It's been hooked up for like 10 seconds. It dropped from 8 to. It pretty much, even the other one, like as soon as you hook it up, it goes to 7 3/4. Now it's 7.6. So I figured it'll drop to, to about 7. Then we're in good shape, And this first one here, number 4, that was the first one that I did like this. That went to 7. But I'd be very impressed if this, I mean, it gets to a point where it's like, well, what else am I supposed to do here as far as the draw is concerned? The rule of the rule of law seems to be a light bulb, but I mean, I guess it's a 60 watt bulb though. Now that I think about it, but how many watts are these things? I guess I can look at the box. I don't even know if they're using a 60 watt bulb. Because I don't recall like the DC drop light bulbs to be that much, different. Now I can also try the halogen. So this is an old school bulb. So I'm not getting much with that. This is a halogen, so I can try that and maybe just hook up both circuits to it or something like that. I mean, I still have to feel that whatever you do, as long as it's consistent and it drops accordingly, like I mean, I don't know if these bulbs are only, 10 watts each. If it doesn't drop very far, that means it's got to be pretty good. Now, we're just getting on 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes now. It's 7:40. So if anything, that number 4 is low, but I did cross it twice. And that can definitely, make it, waste the juice pretty quickly, let alone ruin it. But, this is definitely interesting. I just don't see those bulbs being 60 watt, I gather he's using a drop light bulb that are, the DC drop light bulbs, because I just don't know. I don't know how many watts these guys are pulling when they do this. I guess I can do a search. Maybe I'll try that. Like I said, though, I mean, it's still about consistency. The thing is, though, if it's dropping 2 volts with 60 watts, and I'm only pulling 10, and I'm dropping, 1 volt, does that mean it's actually bad because it's I'm supposed to draw 6 times more than that? So, I don't know. So I'm gonna have to probably just buy one of those drop lights. DC powered drop light and see what happens. Like I said, I don't know how much the wattage is, but I don't recall it being very much, And if you gotta buy a separate bulb, then I gotta do that. But it's I would think that no matter what, if it's bad, it's going to drop like a lot faster than this. And now this video is going on 3.5 minutes. No, it's just almost 4 minutes now. It ain't dropping. So I think the way I'm doing it makes sense, but I might have to just bite the bullet. I'll try the stronger bulb next and whatnot. And if I have to buy the bulb, the drop light bulb, I'll buy it. Okay, I just looked it up. Significantly brighter. This is a high beam only bulb, so that might have been part of the problem. In fact, I probably had it on the low beam on this one, because usually the regular low beam becomes not so bright when you put it on brights. When you have an actual bright, that's when you get it. And it has dropped pretty much right away, but I guess I'll keep filming and seeing what's happened. I'm going to put this guy back. I'm going to say that maybe the halogen is a better bet. I was thinking that's too bright. I really don't know how many watts these things are. I really don't, because it's worse on, I would figure that, like halogen bulbs also, they just work on different principles perhaps rather than wattage. I don't quite know, like, because obviously a halogen bulb is brighter than a drop light bulb, but maybe not. Just could be the way it's set up in the bulb here, with the reflection and whatnot. But it's definitely brighter, to say the least. Like I said, when is it not enough? I mean, if I do it for 5 minutes and it doesn't drop more than a volt, I mean, is that more telling than the other way, Hard to say. I don't know if I retest some of those that I've already tested with the small bulb, do I get the same effect? Because that bulb said 8 watts, so I would think this is more, I should just, I keep saying it, I should go online and see. It's just getting chilly right now, and I kind of want to get this all over with and do some kind of test on it, so I have something to work with, and, take it from there. It's just time consuming. And I'm actually leaving it on a lot longer. Like right now it's 2 minutes, which is what, they tell you to leave it on if I had that bulb. Again, I don't know what the wattage is. So, So far so good. I think I'll go another minute on this, and you know, take it from there, because I really feel it now. It's something else that's wrong with this car, which kind of sucks. I hate having fucking weird shit that's not normal. Like, everybody else just needs a battery, you know? And I figured these look like resistors, so I'm going to test the ohms resistance of the ones that look good, and I'll check this one to see if it's fucked up. I don't know what that does. I don't know if it limits the voltage or what, to some degree. But, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12. There's none on the other side. I don't know what the fuck they do. They do something. This one's down to 7 volts now. 7.09. And that's 3 minutes, though. I mean, it dropped 1 volt in 3 minutes. I mean, I don't know how much more I can do it. It's like 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And I had 10 seconds on before I actually started this video, so I mean, I'd have to say this is a passer, you know? And then I can just, you know, it's definitely more than 3.5 minutes on it. And then let's take the next guy here. You know, I suppose if I use big fat jumper wires too, that'll make a difference, you know. See, like, it drops a 0.5 volt right off the bat, which I think makes sense. Right. It seems nice and bright, you know. I've yet to have anything drop, you know, below 6, for this matter. Sorry, this is not very good filming, because this is boring watching. It's like watching water boil. Oh boy. Got all these sticks left to go. Like I said, these are the sticks that I got. And they may be better. They look in better shape. I don't know what these numbers are he put. I really don't. I don't know how he's measuring them. I don't know what to look for. I guess I can email him. Ask him and say, hey, what's the deal with the voltage you got? Or whatever, the numbers you got on these things. See? I guess that's the milliamps too. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Who knows if my test's better than these? I'm not sure. Just don't know. I mean, so I started this, I put this battery on at approximately 3:30 on this particular video. I'm at 5:30. I mean, so that's 2 minutes. I mean, the other one was technically lower, close to 7. This is not even close to 7. It'd be nice if I actually documented which. I gather it was this battery. I'm not 100% sure now. But I'm still in the beginning phases of all of this. Like, this one's definitely holding more. So I don't know if it's something as simple as that, and then maybe this is why I need something with more draw, because it'll give you a better idea. You know, like a weak battery can maybe handle like a lesser draw. You know, I don't know if I have to hook up four headlights to it or what, but this is all very interesting, and it's really above my pay grade. Although I wanted this car and I bought it for me, I really was hoping I bought a car without a battery issue. And the guy didn't tell me something. All the bolts were gone for the whole metal thing that holds it in, so all of them were gone. You know. Everything the only 2 bolts were these 2. This is totally not one bolt holding it, and he didn't have the bolts in the car even. I did have to take off the cross piece on the top there. You know, that guy on top of the car there that goes across. That was screwed in. It's almost like they gave up putting it in or something. So now I'm at 7. Yeah, so I'm on. I didn't even realize I'm talking. I'm close to 4 minutes, and this has not hit 7 volts. So I think that's a pretty good sign. And I think it was that one, that number 6, on the last one. So that might be questionable. But now it's starting to drop more. But I mean, you're talking about 4 or 5 minutes. I mean, yeah, 3:30 to 7:48 now. So what is that? When I hit 8, which is going to be in a few seconds, that is 4.5 minutes. I mean, that's a pretty good test, I think. All right, next one. All right, so this was probably one of the hardest fucking things of the whole job, and that's trying to line up these things, which I don't even think they're all quite in the same still. That back panel doesn't have any bolts, where this one does. It may have even been better to do the front first, because then you can definitely use these bolts to pull it in. That way this is in the right place, because like right now they could be in or out a little bit. You don't want to go crazy tightening them. So I'm going to go back to the other side, because this will push in the right place. This guy goes on this first one here, and this red one comes all the way around and goes to the last one. I gather that's number 1 and this is number 20, or vice versa. So I got these clips back in. They're all down. It's pretty straightforward. I tested the ohms resistance on these. I think it's just like imperfections in the solder, just like the gluey, goopy stuff that when you solder, sometimes the impurities come to the top. Most of them are all like between 211 and 217. There are 2, including this one that looks a little funny, and this one here. They're like 186 each. And it's almost seemingly deliberate. I could be wrong. It could be allowable. I just think it would say nothing if there was a problem, or I don't know if that's going to be something in the end, but at least I know I measured it. And for the most part, like I said, they were all in the 211 to 217 range. One was like 230 something, one was 226, and then the 2 other ones were 284 to 286, something like that. So, but it's very hard to get all these little guys fish through here. So my advice is to never pull these things out unless you know you're going to change them, and I would change them one at a time and leave the back panel on. That way you know where it stands. You can still push it through the other side by pushing in the center of the bolt here, to push. They're very, very tight when they go in. When they're in their final place, they're in a tight place, and you can see all the positive ones stick out a little bit more than the negative ones, but it looks like the top here is all equal. So let me get back to this, get this guy together. I left the original ones in, by the way. The one with the black strip here that has all these sensors on it, and since they all were kind of consistent, I'm just going to leave them in there and see how it is. And these are all the new ones. I took the guy had like voltages or something written on them. I guess it dropped down to whatever. Some of them dropped to like 470 something. He has one there that's like 416, unless I read it wrong, it's 476, but most of them are, the ones that I didn't use were like in the 460s. So I took the ones with the highest readings and I, put them all in, 16 of them. And the 4 that I didn't put in were up here. I don't know where or what those measurements mean. I'll probably email the guy and let him know. That being said, I'm going to try to put this together. I'm probably not even going to bolt it in. I'm just going to hook it up the way you see here, just to plug everything in, just to go for a ride, see where the deal is, and see if I get any kind of inconsistencies. Because it didn't take much driving. I drove quite a bit the first day that I drove it, and I had no problems. And then the next day, or next few days later, it was like the battery was reading all dead, and I don't know what the deal was. Not sure if I'll drive it today. I may want to put the grid charger on it, although it's not reading now. I got to try to fix that maybe, or being that it's, I don't know if this is a rigged one or not. I may just buy a new one. I'll see. But curious if this will like just make the car go. I'm a little worried that something isn't charging these, or they are charged and I'm just not getting the reading on the dashboard. So I don't know how much more I'll go with another video, but if I find anything pertinent, I'll let you know. Smart if I looked at my own video. No wonder why I'm having so much trouble. if you look, these have all got to be, opposite. And I don't know how the hell I did this, but I did okay on the first two rows here, and then these are all fucked up. So they're all right here. You have squares and hexes to accept them. I don't understand how I did that. Only looked at it 12 fucking times. Wonderful. So I got to take out the whole back. Well, I could take up the top bolts and the little bolts and slide out all these batteries and flip them around. I cannot believe I did that. Damn, that would have been like, I don't know if that would explode or anything like that. Maybe between two batteries. Hard to say. But I think unless these were hooked up, it may have not done that. But oh well. Lesson learned. Pay attention. Don't do it fatigued or anything like that. But it shouldn't be terribly hard. But it stands good reason why I had so much trouble. So, IMA lights on, check engine lights on. I'll find out the codes. I can't reset the MPG and I can't even move the trip. I gotta go from A to B, but I'm not quite sure how that works at this moment. Same thing as before. So apparently it's not the batteries. You'd figure there'd be some kind of improvement or last a little longer. You see it's down to like 2 bars. It was actually all the way up. When the light goes on, it goes all the way down. So I don't know. Fucking weird. Oh boy. The other thing, as soon as I hit the gas pedal, I know the electric motor was kicking in. So it's so funny how, it doesn't show charge, doesn't show assist, so shows nothing on the thing there for the level, well, except for 2 bars. But like when I take off, I feel the electric motor like as if it's working fine. That's the weird part. But I'm gonna pull over soon and figure this out as far as the codes and reset this light and see what happens from there. But apparently this is a different thing than the battery itself. Yeah, like right there I could feel like it kind of kicked out of it. And I don't know if I can wait for this light to be green. But you feel the clunk, you can almost feel the motor mounts are a little bit wobbly. So when you have the electric motor kicks in, it kind of kicks back. Come on, turn green. Any day now. Yeah, right there. It's just like I barely hit the gas, like like a lot of these electric vehicles are. You just barely touch the gas, and you feel the electric motor kick in, and it lunges. Right there. And then you feel the shaking. Even though the engine is increasing, but then again, that's the way the CVT tranny is now that I think about it. This is also a new venture for me with this CVT shit. So it may be nothing. It may be not working. It seemed like it was, but I'm not 100% sure now. Probably not. I have a feeling that if the light is on and whatnot, it's not going to work, and that's just it. So I'll get back to figuring out what the codes are again. Probably the same as last time. Alright, so I cleared the codes, basically 1600 and the 1449. And it basically says that the packs are within variation of 2 volts from each other or something like that. And I don't understand that because they all seem to be on the money. Now, here's the thing. I just started it and it's idling it. And this thing idles over 1,000 for some reason. But the charge thing was on. And then I'm looking. I'm like, oh, I had 2 bars, went to 3 bars, went to 4 bars. What was funny is that, I guess with the grid charger, it was saying that it was totally full before. I'm wondering if this is good that I just keep running it until the regular charging system in the car actually charges it. And I wonder if that's what it's trying to do. And it's too much at once. Oh, see, now the charge just went away. That's interesting. That was interesting right there. But that's something to think about, you know, kind of slowly charging it. You know, I don't know if like shutting it off and then restarting it will help. Let me shut off the it almost I mean the car was already warmed up, but like what was funny is it started to charge there at idle. I wish there was a way to force that. So, you know, I gather you could drive it, you know, keep letting go of the gas or something so it charges. But it actually, I wonder if this is the time now though I should hook up the charger and see what happens, or just in general I should think about getting a different grid charger perhaps. I don't know. I think this is going to conclude it. The only other thing I can think of is take out the battery pack again and actually change those 4 other cells that had these sensors on them. Like I said, I think they're just like sensing temperature. I think they're all just temperature sensors. I could be wrong, but I think that would be the best bet to do that, and just change the rest of them and see what happens. Maybe those 4 are the ones that have a problem, and because the sensor is right on them, it's still detecting the exact same thing. But ultimately, I think a lot of the batteries are okay, but hard to say right now. You know, one day I'd like this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's what I end up getting when I go back to MPG. I get the mileage of the car. But for some reason, how do I, like, I don't know, do I trip A? Okay, now that's working. No, see that I was trying to hold them both. So if I hold it down now. Ah, that's interesting. Now it worked finally. It's like you may only have one shot per ignition cycle. So if I shut it off, restart it, hold it. No such luck. However, if I can get it back to, see, oops, see trip A now, that's mileage reset. Very interesting. So then there's a way to set it here. Oh, this fucking phone, come on. There we go, I got trip B. It's gotta be just a wanky. Oh, it's like it's working better now. It's annoying. Looks like I set the mileage over on the trip odometer. Oh. All the other cars I used to have, you know, you could change that. How does it know? I want to start from scratch. Nope. Holding it down only. Oh well. Anywho, I guess I'll try the grid charger overnight and see if there's any change tomorrow. Ultimately, I may have to take it all out again and change those other 4 batteries. Probably should have just done it, figure out how to do it, but I did want to drive it today, so I wanted to go easier. I don't have all the bolts holding the thing in. I got most of them though. It really wasn't hard in the end. Not that much to undo. And also the brakes suck. I did the brakes, so apparently there was air in the brakes, and then it got in, when I compressed the calipers, it got into the ABS system, and I got my new scanner over here, but it doesn't, this car does not support that. So I tried going on a bunch of like dirty roads, and I whomped on the brake pedal to get the ABS to work, and it seemed to help a little bit, but ultimately I'm going to need a hand to bleed each line and everything. So that's what I'm at right now. Hopefully the bleeders come loose on the wheels, and I'll see, again, if I can do that. I'm going to take the tires off again, and I got to get a hand for that. But I really would love this fucking thing to charge right, and I don't know, because the guy, the guy blew the tranny, now that I think about it, and he let it sit for a while, so I don't know if it just, the grid charger is not that great, and because he was using the grid charger perhaps on a daily basis, I think he grid charged it too much almost. But the other 4 batteries could just not be good, and I'm going to try to maybe change them. I'll see. I gotta read up on what to do with the thing. I'm pretty sure it's just like a separate piece of heat shrink tubing over the battery, and you get new stuff, or I guess you can just black tape it. I'll see, but I think I made this video long enough. This is my trials and tribulations with this IMA battery setup in this 2001 Honda Insight. This is a car I'd like to drive on a daily basis, so I gotta kind of get it reliable, but I've dumped a lot of money into it already, and I'm like, so I'm driving classic cars in between. So wish me luck.